All right, episode 226, Line Up Basketball Podcast, November 7th, 2024. You add the what? Okay. Illinois coming off of a season opening victory and on the eve of game 2, we have not prepared very well for this.
We are
clearly
woefully unprepared for this, guys. So bear with us. Some things happened over the last few days. So
weird, stuff that Wednesday night stream people would know what we're talking about. But there was some news before the game that came out. We talked a little bit about it during the
like
watch
6
party.
times, I think, during the watch party.
But before the game began, I don't know if Ty Rodgers redshirting is a gigantic surprise. I don't think we should be taken too aback from it. I mean, I went throughout the summer talking about how I didn't think he would be a starter. And I think that was pretty clear, when the Ole Miss exhibition happened, he wasn't starting. And then this opening game, obviously he wasn't going to start. I don't know if I thought he'd redshirt, but I didn't think he would start. And a lot of people thought he would start because of, his loyalty to the program and being here in year 3.
And would he start every game last year?
Yeah, that's another part of it. That's probably a good sign that he would have started this year, but it just didn't feel like the way the roster's made up that he would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I know that some people are mad because, you don't have any continuity with your team, things like that. But from Ty's eyes, I see the reason of doing it, as a junior, maybe not even getting 10 minutes a game, whether he plays at Illinois next year or not, I think depends on what kind of roster makeup Brad brings in next year. Do you want teams to win, or do you just want to be able to root for the same guy every year because that's what you've known all these years? That's kind of the big tipping point, I think, for some Illini fans right now. But yeah, I mean, Ty, I think he made a good decision for himself. He was there. Don't want anybody to think that Ty wasn't there and, he's not going to show up. He was on the court cheering on his team. I know we saw that from Sincere last year and he still left, but with Chester and everything, I think that kind of is a different story. So we'll see what happens. I think Ty is still going to be there. The thing that you will miss is his leadership on the court. But again, we were only going to get that for, a handful of minutes a game, I think, just with how Brad wants to play. I mean, he wants to shoot 53s a game. He said it after the game against Eastern that he wants to shoot 53s. That's what we're going to see. I saw maybe Scott Ritchie today posted that Brad was mad because there were three threes, wide open threes he saw where they passed him up and took it to the basket against Eastern. So Ty Rodgers really doesn't fit into that, play style. But I am going to be sad to not see Ty Rodgers on the court in uniform. I agree with people with that, but I think it was the best decision for him, and you got to respect that for him. So,
yeah. I echo all of those things. I had to throw in a quick Central Michigan -5.5 tonight over Stony Brook. Illinois and Eastern Illinois was on Monday. The spread, I believe, was what, 26, 25.5?
26 is what I think it was when it opened. I don't know what it ended up at.
And Illinois won by 45.
Yeah. They were really good. They looked good. They scored a lot, 112 points.
Oh, interesting. Somebody here said that they were going to score over 100, and they kind of got destroyed for it a little bit.
Yeah. I think our player of the game, Will Riley, with 31 points. I think him scoring 26 in 11 minutes in the second half kind of helped push you over the edge. So, Will Riley showed up first game. I think people kept saying he's 17. I think they even had it on the broadcast. He's actually 18. Jeremy Warner pointed that out on Twitter. But 25 minutes for him, 10 for 13 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, 6 of 7 from the line. He had 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 turnover for 31 points. It was pretty amazing the way he caught fire and what he did. this is what 5 stars do, right? This is what you expect 5 stars to do. And even reclassing, it was a pretty special performance from him for his first game at Illinois.
Yeah, I thought he came out in the first half, and I thought he was fine. I mean, guys like this and this entire roster, it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody that they looked as good as they did against Eastern in comparison to what we saw against Ole Miss. I mean, one's a real game, one's not, a real game that counts. But the second half was much smoother than the first half. They came out a little slow. Game was close for the first 10 minutes, which is kind of to be expected, I guess, in some ways. They were still up 50-35 at the half. Then they go 62-32 in the second half. Put up 31 in the first 10 minutes, 31 in the final 10 minutes. And obviously Will Riley was a big part of that. But the fact that you get 52 points between Will Riley and DGL is a big factor.
Yeah.
You get double figures from Kasparis and Ivisic, who goes down and then comes back. I thought he was really, really good, even though the fact that he went 1 for 6 from 3 is stunning to me. I don't remember him taking 6 threes, but
I don't either.
The fact that he took 6 and KJ, as we call him, took 2 is a bit surprising. But overall, I mean, you also not only get those numbers from Will Riley and DJ, you also get 9 for 14 from 3 from those guys. And then you get efficient free throw shooting. You get 13 for 15 from the free throw line from those guys. So those two are really, really efficient. DGL would have been the number 2 option for player of the game. Then I think a third is probably Tomislav going 14 and 14. And then obviously you're going to see Kasparis, Jakachunas, I guess, is technically what people want to do. I guess they're just forgetting about the I-O-N in the middle of the name. Nailed it. He's going to be filling up the stat sheet all year. 11, 5, and 7. Didn't feel like he had that big of an impact on the game, but still 11, 5, and 7. And he shoots, he gets to the free throw line, goes 4 for 6. The Euros go 11 for 15 from the free throw line. Kasparis only taking 4 shots. Bit surprising, 3 for 4 from the field. But I thought another guy.
He controlled the game well, though.
I don't know. Are we going to go player by player here? Because
no, I mean, I'm liking what you're doing right now.
Kylan Boswell, I thought, didn't have a great game. There's a little bit of some efficiency issues, I think, but I think he fit into his role very well. And one issue that he had, and a reason why his offensive rating on KenPom was the lowest on the team, was turnovers. He had 5 turnovers, and he only took 3 shots. All of them were threes. I think you're going to see a little bit more expansion of him with the ball a little bit in the offense, because I think it's going to be impossible for him to not at least try to go to the basket and get a bucket every game. He didn't do that at all in this game, but I thought he fit into his role, and he played the most minutes of everybody based on the way that KenPom rounds it at 26. So he'll figure it out. But
and he kind of played off the ball. It seemed like Illinois ran kind of this 3-man game. Hoop Informatics, who we've talked about before. If you don't follow him on Twitter, follow him. He has nice breakdowns every once in a while. But KJ and Tomislav and Will Riley kind of had this 3-man game they had. It's really nice to have somebody like Tomislav playing the post that can pass it out. We've talked about that, with Kofi and then with Dane and, guys like that. And Illinois has a guy that is looking to pass from the post, which is nice to see. You didn't talk about Big Hummer having 14 points.
I was working my way down the starting lineup.
All right. Well, you were talking about all these double digits, and the guy you've been ragging on puts up 14.
Hold on a second. One thing that also sticks out to me with the box score, and since KenPom does it by 2s and 3s, Eastern really seems like they're a little behind the curve or whatever when it comes to modern basketball. They took 56 2s and 12 3s. And you look at Illinois has 22 2s. They make 15 of them, and then they make 16 of 42 3s. And another factor here, and I don't know if this is going to translate, but Illinois took 46 free throws in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of that was Illinois just more athletic and better. And another part of it is that these refs were slowing. This was a very long basketball
game. Yeah, it was.
I mean, you look at some of the numbers, and you combine the two teams. Eastern took 25 free throws, so that's 71 free throws between the two teams. Hopefully that isn't happening because that's a lot. But then you look at the glass, Illinois dominated. They go 58-28. You look at assists, Illinois 16 to Eastern's 5. You look at turnovers, 13-8. That's to be expected when one guy has 5. You have 9 turnovers between Boswell, KJ, and Ivisic. Steals, it's 5-2 Eastern. Not a surprise with the turnover numbers. And then 29-21 Eastern in fouls. So you were talking about Humrick House. I want to touch on Trey White real quick, who I thought was fine. He didn't make any field goals. He went 0 for 2 from 3. 5 for 6 from the line, though. Had 3 offensive rebounds, 5 rebounds total, only 1 turnover. Did have 3 fouls, but I want to see Trey White shoot it a little bit more, but I don't want him to force up mid-range jumpers like he did at Louisville, and he didn't do that in this game because he didn't take any twos. So that's fine.
I mean, Brad, if you look at the shot chart, I think Will Riley had 1 jump shot. I think there might have been 2 others there. So, I mean, it was threes or up by the basket. And Trey White, I think a big part of him starting right now is probably just experience. I mean, he wants to put out oldish lineup to start the game. So will that change down the road? Will Riley move into that starting spot?
Look at the bench. Look at the bench. Riley, freshman. DGL sophomore, Merez freshman, Booth sophomore, Davis sophomore.
Yeah.
So without Ty, you become even younger.
Right.
And you have the least amount. I mean, this team without Ty Rodgers has by far, I would say, I haven't looked at all the other Big Ten rosters, but this has to be the least experienced in the Big Ten when it comes to Big Ten play. DGL is the only guy on this roster that has played in Big Ten games. So that's going to be an obstacle probably when the Big Ten season starts, because people like me thought that they could go 16-4. I don't think that's going to happen. Based on the schedule, though, it's not impossible, but it's going to be hard to go into a Big Ten schedule with a bunch of guys who have never really played Big Ten basketball outside of one and have a bunch of success. But who knows? The schedule is favorable, I think, for a team like that, though. Humrick House, 14 points. I mean, 3 for 3 from 2, 2 for 5 from 3. Finally got it going. 2 for 2 from the line. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. That's more like it, I think, for what I expected out of him this year. I'd like to see what he does
really
against real opponents, though.
It's not really the booty ball action that people kind of thought he would, fall into what they did with Damask last year. Like I said, it seems like it's that 3-man game, and then you have the 2 guys down on the corners and, moving the ball. There was only one instance, and I can't remember what the lineup was. I think it might have been like Booth and Riley and DGL, where the ball didn't move. But other than that, the ball moved well. Again, as far as a point guard, for as young as he is, I mean, his vision, his passing, 7 assists for him. I thought he handled the game very well for first real college game. So
sure. I gotta stop looking at my phone so much.
AJ Red had a bucket too. So
there you go. Jake Davis, I thought, was awful. I don't know what his role looks like moving forward, but with the way the roster looks right now, we definitely are going to see more Kerry Booth than I thought we might. That's not anything to do with Jake Davis, but I'm just saying the way the roster looks right now, you're going to need some length, and
because they have plenty of shooters.
Jake Davis 0 for 4 from the field, missed both free throws, did have a couple rebounds, had 4 fouls in 8 minutes. That's just brutal. It doesn't look ready for Big Ten level, like just any level, actually. Doesn't look ready for D1 level. I don't know how he made it work at Mercer last year, but he did. But that's going to take some time. I don't know. And I will say, I thought Eastern's guards are decent. They're solid. They made a lot of shots, but that center is, yikes. Rodolfo Bolis, 17 minutes, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 turnovers, fouled out. He didn't look the part to me at all. I'd argue he's maybe the worst player we'll see all season. And he's their starting center. So I don't know. That didn't look good.
No, it did not. Yeah, you mentioned Booth, 14 minutes for him, 2 of 5, all threes, 5 rebounds, a block, 6 points. I guess I know that he shot 5 threes, but I don't remember him, I guess. Did he take a couple late? I don't know.
He was throwing them up in the corner three guy.
Okay.
I don't want to. We can't not talk about the fact that Merez Johnson had 6 blocks.
Yeah, this was last guy, I guess, is Merez
3
Johnson.
points, 8 rebounds, 6 blocks, 1 turnover. Gave you 15 minutes. Offensive efficiency will pick up over time, but I thought he looked really good on the defensive end. But as I said, I thought Eastern was rolling out some of the worst center play possible. So that's good to get the feet wet for Merez. But I feel good about the size this team has. Like, they're never going to be out-sized or out-physical, I don't think. At least, inside the perimeter, because you're running 6'2", 6'6", 7'1", 6'7", 6'9", 6'8", 6'1", 6'9", 6'10". I mean, this is a pretty big team, so that's encouraging. And some of those, bigger guys have the weight to them too. Like Boswell's built,
Yeah.
Humrickhouse is solid, so definitely on display when you play an Eastern team like this. Eastern's very, very bad, so I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like Illinois looks elite. I thought they looked good. I thought the second half was an absolute, domination.
Yeah.
Part of it, part of the first half dominance towards the end was DGL and how good he was in the first half. They get to 50. How good Will Riley was in the second half. They score 62. So we'll see. Obviously, this team's got, 2 games against inferior opponents. I think Oakland will give them a little bit of something for a while. That should be a decent test for that level at least. And then you got Alabama after that. So anything else you want to cover on this game? Jeez, what a win!
I think so. Look at you talking all this. Like, you're going crazy today. I like it. Are you like pundit? Something happened this week? You're like pumped up a little bit?
No, I'm just thinking about basketball.
Okay. Right.
By the way, in when it comes to the metrics, the only team that Illinois is going to play this year that's worse than Eastern is Maryland Eastern Shore on Saturday, November 23rd. They are actually
real school.
Yeah, of course, yeah, they've been around forever. They rank 363rd out of 364 D1 schools.
Ooh.
So they are on paper via the metrics, I guess, the worst team in the country outside of one team. So
yeah,
that to look forward to.
Yeah, I know you say Eastern's not very good, but 112 points is 112 points. So
yeah, last year's team, I don't believe ever got there. Last year's team, their high was 104 in the non-conference against Fairleigh Dickinson, and then obviously they had that 105 game against Minnesota. So, and last year against Eastern, they put up 80. That team couldn't find it early. You look at the difference. Illinois made 6 more threes. They shot way more free throws. They rebounded better, and they were almost as efficient from 2 as they were against Eastern last year. Of course, it doesn't matter because it's a completely different team. But 112 points is 112 points. I had 104, so my projection was actually conservative.
It was actually, it was pretty good.
There you go.
What's going on? Sean Imbrat says, "Have you ever heard the crowd at State Farm Center chant the name of a player at U of I?" Myself, never. Until were they chanting Will Riley?
Oh, that crowd!
We can't hear the game because Ethan keeps it on quiet. Tommy, what's up? Bootzilla, what's up? Warner, what's going on? Crypto, what's up? Jason says Boswell will have more points the tougher the competition.
I can see that.
And Tim says hi to you and nothing to me. So
yeah, that's good.
All right, on to Edwardsville.
Yeah, Illinois and SIUE, Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, the inferior of the 2 schools, according to a lot of people. SIUE's 1-1 in the season. This game is tomorrow night, 7:00 Peacock. I guess we're doing a watch party for this, unfortunately. We won't be doing Oakland, so we will do this one.
Okay.
There you go. So we'll be live tomorrow around 6:50 before the game. Peacock game feels right. People are like, "Oh, I don't want to pay for Peacock." Oh, Peacock has a lot of good shows on it, so you're not. This is better than Big Ten Plus.
That's true.
You can watch programs like The Office or Parks and Recreation or other ones. So let's consider that.
Okay.
Eastern. SIUE played Indiana last night. They lost 80-61. Big game for Mackenzie Mbako, the year two, the co-freshman of the year apparently last year in the Big Ten. I don't remember that, but kind of forget he's on that Indiana team because they had so many additions and they're going to be overrated all year. So
Yeah,
how
many points did he have last?
I thought he had like 30 or something.
Yeah,
29.
something crazy. Yeah,
he had 31.
Okay.
Very efficient too. 13 of 17 from the field. Yeah, they couldn't stop him. And Indiana, put up 80 points, but it was pretty much from four guys. They had 8 points outside of two guys. Luke Goody, 0 points. Interesting. Anyway, Southern Illinois University Edwardsville, SIUE as they're known. They opened their season with a 95-42 win over Westminster, Missouri. So really tough competition there. Their shooting splits in terms of the percentages are pretty bad so far through 2 games. They're shooting 19% from three and 46% from the free throw line. So that seems not good. The Illini projected to win this game by 27, according to Ken Palm. SIUE coached by Brian Barone. This is year 6 for him. Their best season was last season. They went 9-9, or I guess 2 years ago they were better. I apologize. They're 9-9 in conference the last 2 years in the OVC. 2023, they were number 1 in the conference for they were 5-1, and then hit some struggling parts of the season. I will say that last season they lost to Missouri by 18. Remember how bad that Missouri team was? Wow, that's brutal. This season they play Illinois, and then they have a very easy schedule up until conference play. 321st in offensive efficiency. They're 300th in defensive efficiency. Their offensive numbers so far not good. However, they are, on the bright side, they're top 100 in average height. They're 193rd in D1 experience. The numbers just aren't great for them, and they're not a very good team. And Illinois should handle them in an easier way than Indiana did, I think. We'll see what happens, but Illinois, the superior team of the two. This will be, you got this game, then you have Oakland, Alabama, a couple easy ones. Then you go to Arkansas, but you play Arkansas. So Illinois' schedule kind of structured how it always is. You get a couple early easy games, and you play, Marquette. Last season they played early, and then it's a Brad Underwood type schedule. It makes sense. So SIU just happens to be the next opponent that is going to get, I think, destroyed.
Yeah, I mean they kept it close with Indiana for a while, I think up until like the 10-minute mark of the second half. So I don't think Illinois is going to have much problem with them, but you never know until you play the game.
Yeah, I think that's a product of Indiana being overrated by the national media. So
yeah, national media and some randos on YouTube.
People forget that their head coach is who
their coaches.
Yeah. Players to watch.
Players to watch. I am going with Kasparis Hukachianis from Illinois. I liked how he kind of had the game, in his hands and didn't try to do too much against Eastern, and I want to see him improve on that and maybe get a few more shots up this game. And then I am going with Brian Taylor II because you told me to. He scored 15 points in their first game. He only had 5 in their last game. He's shooting at 75% from 3. Sure, that guy. All right.
Good pick. I'm going to go with Tomislav Ivisic, the big man for the Illini. I expect him to have a good game. Rebounding looked good. Did some good stuff in the offensive end, screens and such and such. Looks very confident with the ball.
Yeah, he does.
Which I think is a good sign for Illinois historically with bigs. I'm going to go Rayshawn Taylor for SIUE, 4th year there. inefficient shooting so far. He's not been too bad. I mean, he's 4 for 12 from 2, which isn't great, but 3 for 10 from 3. You'll take that, I guess. But it's 17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. He's got 8 steals through 2 games, 3 of them against Indiana. Not a rebounding guy, but he did have 10 of them and had a 15, 10, and 6 game against, School of the Blind or whatever they played in their first game. But we'll see. I mean, he's been there a while. Kylan Boswell should be the one guarding him. I think that's good for Illinois. And we'll see how he does, because I think Illinois is going to win this game, but I think the offense will take a bit of a step back from the output in the first game, but still surpass the 80-point mark, which is where we get to our predictions.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Illinois covering whatever spreads out there, unlike Indiana could. Illinois 93, SIU Edwardsville 62.
How do you know the spread's not going to be 32.5?
Because it's not. What did you just say Ken Pom had it at?
Ken Pom had 91-64. I'm going 88-64. So similar prediction. I don't think Illinois can hold like anybody under 60 points.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Although Eastern scoring 60 was a product of how many fouls the refs called on both sides, and they threw up some crazy shots that went in.
They made some tough shots, and that's Illinois forced them into tough twos. I mean, that's Brad Underwood's defense is doing what Brad wants it to do. It's not messing up and giving up open threes. I thought Tomaslov closed out a lot better this game than he did in the Ole Miss game. So right now they look good. Again, we're not playing anybody that matters right now. So you got to win these games and you got to learn what your team is. So.
And since this is going to be the shortest episode in history, I might as well drag it out a few more minutes. The Big Ten so far, 18-0, folks. The undefeated Big Ten.
It's good.
You got Purdue plays Northern Kentucky tomorrow night. Late one for UCLA, New Mexico. That's an 11 o'clock game, it looks like, or 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock our time. Ohio State plays Youngstown State. Ohio State with a big win, the best win in the Big Ten so far. They beat Texas, as I predicted. Thank you. They play Youngstown State Monday. Michigan plays Wake Forest on Sunday. That'll be an interesting game. Oregon plays Montana tomorrow night. Michigan State takes on Niagara tonight. Love the Spartans with the spread. I think the Spartans are going to come out better than I thought they would.
Really?
I just think that I don't like the roster at all, but I think non-conference they'll be good, and people will be like, oh, my God. And then Big Ten, I don't think they're going to be able to withstand. Maryland plays Mount St. Mary's tomorrow night. Iowa plays Southern tonight. Northwestern plays at Dayton on Saturday. That'll be an interesting game on the road. USC plays Idaho State tonight. Indiana plays Eastern, so SIU and Eastern flip who they play this week. Wisconsin plays Montana State tonight. Penn State plays UMBC tomorrow. Minnesota plays Nebraska-Omaha Saturday. Bethune-Cookman, Nebraska. Wait, yeah. Got it right. Nailed it. Rutgers plays St. Peter's on Monday, and then Washington plays Nevada. So some real opponents coming up for some of these Big Ten teams. The number one defensive rating team in the Big Ten, according to Ken Pom, is Maryland. The number one offensive team is Purdue. The number one tempo team, based on the possession numbers, is Iowa. So not a surprise there. Purdue took them a while to turn it on, but they get it done in their first game. They gave up 73 points. Yikes. Braden Smith had a lot of assists, though, so that's good. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know. My national champion pick, I'm going to stick with Alabama still, but I could go to Kansas. You never know.
Sean says, what did Coleman Hawkins do the other day? He did Coleman Hawkins things. 32 minutes, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 points, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Shot 22% from the field, 16% from 3. So
we will also look forward tomorrow night to the game of the night, North Carolina at Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. That's at 6 o'clock. That's an hour before the Illinois game. We'll be keeping tabs on that. That'll be a fun one. And then you got Auburn and Houston playing on Saturday night. That's going to be a great game. Arkansas, Baylor that night as well. And then, next big game night of games is Tuesday the 12th. You got Kansas, Michigan State, Kentucky, Duke. So should be good. And next Friday is Alabama, Purdue.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Purdue looked a little rocky the other day.
Yeah. You have a lot of points. For a shame.
But yeah, we will we'll see you guys tomorrow for the watch party. Yep, Eric, watch party tomorrow. So
yep,
we'll be around.
We'll be live 6:50, and we will see everybody then. Goodbye.